We've all had a moment in life where we were watching a cartoon and really loved it, until some pickle came on the screen and ruining every second of the show with their presence, make you want to punch them back to the mother's womb. Today we're talking about exactly that, the most annoying cartoon characters we all hate. Let's get into it. When growing up, I fucking hated Patrick. Back in the early seasons, he was kind of bearable, right? Sure, he was this mentally challenged organism and shit, but at the very least he had a good heart, always trying to help SpongeBob as much as possible. But in the newer seasons, this dude turned into the biggest fucking menace this planet has ever seen. Being extremely stupid, but still acting like a know-it-all, straight up laughing at you and calling you a dumbass, while his last brain cells are still running on Windows XP. Even torturing his own best friend at times. And I have no idea why SpongeBob still puts up with this dude, because it's like he's some type of masochist, where he enjoys receiving cock and ball torture or something. Like bruh, if I was stuck in a ringer and my best friend decided to glue me on top of that, I'd be worried that this motherfucker had some type of devious plan already or something, praying that he wouldn't pull out the baby oil. Like, for shit like this you cannot blame stupidity. This is the type of shit that you'd expect from an evil genius that knows what they're doing. And Patrick is like that one friend that would get you in the worst situations possible. Like for example, you're sitting in the middle of Mexico and the cartel literally just released you with a warning. If you were sitting with his brain dead sea star, he would legit just say something like, "Sorry, you don't speak taco," ending up in the sequel of Funky Town or some shit. Like, that's the type of friend that you should be dropping like it's hot. But I guess this absolute brainiac cannot understand that. Has anyone ever told Dora to get herself a pair of contacts? Because it does seem like this blind-ass motherfucker really needs them. Every time just bug you with the dumbest questions imaginable. If I had to think of the queen of rage bait, my mind would immediately snap towards this absolute rat over here. Because back when I was this cheery, happy, optimistic little boy, there was literally nothing that could get me mad until this bitch came on. Like, she's handcrafted into becoming my perfect kryptonite. Being the first motherfucker to get my younger self to fully rebel against her. Like, she asked something obvious like, "Oh my god, did you see that?" And then me, being in this full-on villain mode, had the guts to give this firm, cold-hearted no. Man, I felt like an absolute madman doing this type of shit. But let's be real for a second. There's no way in hell that she can't catch Swiper trying to hide his fat ass behind a tree. Even if it's the thinnest tree imaginable and Swiper went on the heaviest bulk ever recorded, this bitch has the audacity to act like we're a bunch of mentally challenged monkeys like her sidekick is. Like bro, we all know you caught that shit yourself. If a truck is racing away and she's standing on the highway, she would look at the invisible camera and ask a stupid question. Mean some dumb shit like, "Should I get out of the way?" And wait for a response. Nah man, my younger self would stay silent until a truck gives you a ticket to the afterlife, you bastard. It's a miracle that she hasn't died so far pulling off shit like this. I understand that the show's supposed to be for little kids and shit, but that's what they are, little kids, not brainless fucking chimps. Shows like Dora and her cousin, whose name I forgot, both somehow make me feel like an absolute smartass every time when I watch that shit. Feel like that one anime character that does the entire glasses thing. So, if there's one thing I should thank these shows for, it's for giving me the biggest ego boost back in the day. As of 2026, I look back at Total Drama and wonder how some shit was allowed on television. Shit like the middle finger, a naked guy dancing, and a pair of watermelons flashing our eyes. All of it is censored, of course. But there was one character whose literal existence shouldn't be allowed in the first place, and that motherfucker is Sierra. Her entire personality is being this creepy-ass stalker, out there tormenting this poor little fella right here. Like jerking him to a point where he had an allergic reaction, just so she could pull down his pants and put a needle in his ass. And bro,
is this her gum?
Gum in his ear? That's crazy work. Like imagine a dude did all of this to a girl on the show. The FBI would go out their way to arrest the fucking creators of the show. Because let's be real, we need to put this bitch behind bars. And on top of being a criminal, she's also annoying as hell. 50% of her dialogue involves Cody. Cody this, Cody that, etc, etc. This obsessed freak over here makes a fucking yandere like you know seem like a cuck. Having a camera in hand and recording her man banging 3 women at the same time. And you might think that in World she was at her worst, but that's where I gotta disappoint you, my very naive viewer of mine. Because in All-Stars, she was the same person but on steroids, where Cody wasn't even present, which caused her to full-on hallucinate, going on a fucking drug trip or some shit. And then, on top of that, also torturing another tiny guy because somehow she thought that he was Cody. Like bro, they look nothing alike. Sure, they have the same build and shit, but one is white as powdered sugar, and the other suffers from police brutality. That just shows how far gone this bitch is. Like, there's an entire compilation of her saying Cody. So, here's a small snippet.
Cody, 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 Cody.
Yeah, if this didn't annoy you, I applaud you. If her brain was only filled with TV static, this would be the product of it. Fanboy Chum Chum is like a product of a kid with ADHD who had 4 cans of Monster Energy and 10 Oreos. The hyperactivity of the show is actually unbearable, but what made it even worse was the main characters themselves. It didn't help that the animation looks as appealing as a pile of elephant shit, right? But the way that they are behaving makes it 10 times worse. Their voices sound like a few mosquitoes having an orgy in your ears, and they're like Patrick. Extremely stupid. To a point where the most brain-dead humanoid on the planet would click off. Feel like the last brain cells that were holding on for dear life just gave up. And if you listen to the intro, you'll immediately know what type of show this is. Yeah, loud equals funny, right guys? As if we didn't have enough of these types of cartoons already. But here's the thing that really annoys me about the characters. They're part of a show that somehow was picked over Adventure Time. So, my hate for these dickheads is pretty much a guilt by association thing. And there's also one thing that's really funny to me, and that's Gen Z that's complaining about brain rots and shit, saying that the new gens are cooked because they watch AI slop and other brain-dead content. But we were the generation that was force-fed bullshit like this! Because while they had stuff like Tung Tung Sour, we had to suffer through Fanboy and Cum Cum. And of course, Hyperactive Show isn't complete without having a victim that suffers through all of it. We had Squidward in SpongeBob, we had Delson in Clarence, and now we have Kyle, and I really feel for him. Like, imagine having to deal with 2 fucktards that still haven't grown out their toddler face yet. I respect his patience, because I would have pulled out an AK-47 by now. The creators really tried their best to make a little girl absolutely unbearable, which requires actual talent, because I don't think I'm saying anything weird when I say that bullies suck horsecock. In most cases, they're just a bunch of teens that deserve a good old slap to the face. Other times it's an adult that hasn't grown past their teenage years yet, failing in life miserably. But here we have a fucking toddler. A toddler that's bullying literal babies. Like, they haven't even grown out of sucking their own mom's tit yet, and they're already getting bodied. And it's one thing that she's being an asshole like that, but it's another when her parents do absolutely nothing to stop this tiny demon from abusing other people's infants. And there have been moments where she finally did get karma from what she has done, but this was a reaction.
It's not fair! It's not fair! It's not fair!
Yeah, maybe a belt isn't enough. Make her the youngest kid in a Scared Straight program and keep your fingers crossed, hoping that she changes into a more respectable figure when she gets older. Actually, never mind. Because we already got a taste of how this motherfucker is and all grown up. Just imagine the most unbearable teenage girl you can think of at your school, and she probably fits the description. Because she went from this annoying little bully to the stereotypical mean girl. But I'll be real with you, I haven't watched that show, only a few clips here and there, so maybe I missed a little bit of character development. But can you really blame me? I've already been exposed to her long enough, so I don't have the patience of watching her having a potential redemption arc. So anyway, that was it for today. I have definitely missed some other cartoon characters that are unbearable, so feel free to fill me in the comments. But for now, I'll see you all in the next one.